Yasher Ali at Yasher on Twitter says the Wall Street Journal has obtained body cam footage of local police complaining that they repeatedly asked the U.S. Secret Service days in advance to secure the warehouse that was eventually used by the shooter who attempted to assassinate Trump and killed one man. Now, Charles, I think it's really important to get your take on this because you seem to still be on the bandwagon that it's just some kid that had a gun and he went and shot the president, and there's no funny business happening.
How do I seem to be on that bandwagon?
Oh God, let's see. Last week you said on the shooting. This is your commentary about Michael and I's show last week. You said on the shooting, I don't believe it. It was just a stupid kid doing a stupid thing, and we're looking far too much into it. However, I do agree with Brad, and that's you complimented me saying that the government never tells the truth.
Yeah, no. I definitely still agree with that statement.
Which part?
My statement.
That the government doesn't, that it's just a kid. So I'm right. I said that you seem to be on the bandwagon that it's just some kid that just tried to shoot the president. You said, why do you think that? And then
I wanted to know why you thought that.
Charles, don't play this game.
So I did, because I wanted to make sure you weren't putting words in my mouth or misrepresenting anything that I believe. But the thing is, I think it's much more complicated and nuanced than that. Do I think that this kid was a kid who went and tried to shoot the president? Yes, but there are still questions that need to be answered as to why they did not respond to the pleas of the local police, why the one sniper was able to take a shot and was not told he could take a shot, why they did not have the perimeter secured in advance, why he was fully exposed the way that he was. So there's still a lot of questions as to the handling of the overall situation. Do I think this kid was some psyop placed there to do this, carrying out a task for whatever government agency? No, I don't believe that. But I do believe that something happened internally with the Secret Service that led to this. I don't know if that was intentional or unintentional, but I think something happened. I still err on the side that I'm not going to, attribute something to malice that is purely incompetence. But I do think that there are a lot of answers that are a lot of questions that are unanswered.
I can't. It's hard to believe, to be honest.
The official story. Yeah. So if we start
it's also hard to believe that someone that knows that the government always lies, that they're constantly incompetent over and over and over, that eventually the incompetence thing doesn't really, that excuse stops working, right? When does that stop working?
Does it though? Like, people are incompetent all the time. People fail up all the time.
Sure, but at some point it's malicious. The system is malicious, right? At least the system is, because they just allow incompetence to happen over and over and over. But all the evidence is pointing to, like, hey, they didn't, like, they are being told and radioed, and everyone is asking, cover this building, do something. They hear pitter patter, as Michael Searle likes to say, of a little boy with his gun on the roof, and they do nothing about it. It can't just be like, oopsies.
Yeah, but the thing is, you're wanting me to believe a scenario that has not been
presented. I don't want you to believe anything.
A scenario that has not been presented. I have not seen anyone say, this is what I think has happened. This kid was a CIA plant who did this. I've never seen anything like that. All I've heard is, we don't know. So, like, you want me to believe something that no one has ever actually presented, whereas I have this likely scenario in my mind that is attributed to incompetence, because we know government and government officials are always incompetent, and which seems more likely because no alternative scenario has been presented. Give me another scenario to believe in. I'm all ears.
They're also almost always involved in the assassination of presidents. Almost always.
All over the world.
Give me one that they weren't involved with. So
I don't have one.
Caesar.
Yeah, no, I am not.
Well, that was the Senate. So yes, they were involved in that one too.
Well, the CIA and FBI weren't. I think maybe the Knights Templar or the Illuminati. They go back pretty far.
They sure do. I'm not dismissing that that's a possibility, that it's just incompetence. I just think that the balance of the data tips it in favor of there's more to the story.
Well, why hasn't anybody been able to present any sort of
people? You just haven't.
They have, yeah. They
so give
have.
me just one example.
What about the audio? Those are two different guns.
Okay, but no, what I'm saying is, I've not heard, and maybe you guys have, someone lay out what they believe happened. Like
I don't need a conclusion. That there's two guns, possibly.
You don't need.
There are possibly two guns.
You don't need to know what the right answer
So
is. The way wrong.
yeah, we can go back to JFK. There were 2 guns at least. And the government said there was 1 gun. And they said anybody that disagrees is a conspiracy theorist. Yet there was evidence and people saying there's a second gun. Well, we have audio from a bunch of different sources showing that the shots 3, 4, 5, 6 are from a different distance. They're from possibly inside a building, and they're using a different gun.
The shots are coming from inside. Hey,
I'm not saying they are. I'm saying that it's possible. But the other thing that raises a red flag is why is the media and the law enforcement all over trying to figure out if that's true or not?
I brought this up last time, sort of offhandedly, and I am genuinely curious, Charles, to hear your opinion on this. Does jet fuel melt steel beams but not passports?
Anyway, I think
a real question. Passports were found in the rubble, like with singed edges, and they found them. And these were the passports of the terrorist attacker.
Okay, does everything burn in a fire? No. Fires.
Yes, in the 9/11 fire, yes, everything burns, especially evidence of Enron's criminal activity.
Every time you have
especially
a fire,
especially the Pentagon's missing $1 trillion. That evidence burns too.
Every time you have a fire, you find people's journals and diaries and pictures and
Yes, in a small house fire, sure, but in a fire that supposedly collapses 2 of the world's largest buildings and everything is absolutely destroyed, they find 2 paper passports that were inside the airplane that blew up.
But everything wasn't destroyed. When I went down there like September 15th, 16th, my dad took us down there. There was still paper and shit in the ashes, like just stuff.
Yes, from airplanes?
No, I don't know.
Do you think the terrorists didn't open the windows and throw the passports out the window before they did it?
How do I
know? Because you can't do that. The windows don't open. Can we do like some political